good in my body from my practice the last couple weeks. So we're just gonna move forward and be playful. I'm gonna talk you through it. I'm gonna demo a lot of things. For all of us, some of this stuff will feel new in our bodies, including me. So if this is your first yoga class in a while or one of your early yoga classes, everybody's gonna be pretty much on the same level. So find a place at the top of your mat. Stand strong with your feet underneath your hips, your ankles underneath your hips, your feet on 12 o'clock. So take a minute and just look at those so your toes are pointing straight ahead and root down into your feet. So we're gonna set up here with the idea to ground down and then to draw in. So your belly button's gonna come in towards your spine. That's locking a bandha right there, one of the several bandhas that we can lock up and power the practice. So I want you to just very intentionally, as you breathe in, pull that belly button in towards your spine, and as you breathe out, just keep it there. I'm gonna do a couple more rounds of breath right there. With that Uddiyana Bandha engaged, that belly in. And then let your shoulders come onto your back, palms forward. And the third piece, set your drishti, set your gaze on something that's not moving straight in front of you. And stand here and feel those pieces, the grounding into the earth with all four corners of both feet. And once those feet press in, the quads are going to engage. The second, the belly lock, the bandha, pulling in. And then the third, your drishti. And so close your eyes here for just a couple rounds of breath. Set up your breath to come in and out through your nose. If you choose to ramp up the volume of it to make it an ujjayi breath, you can, or you can just keep it smooth and even and natural right here. The rate of your breathing will go up as we move through practice today. So just keep an intention of bringing it in and out through your nose unless your allergies are acting up, and keeping your inhales and your exhales as even as possible. With your eyes closed in the last couple breaths here at the beginning of practice, recommit to that grounding. Draw your belly in, shoulders back. And then even with your eyes closed, set your drishti. So behind those closed eyelids, set that gaze point off in space, straight ahead of you. Then open your eyes. Standing nice and tall. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift up halfway. Make your back nice and flat. Good. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, nice, slow, smooth. Press down into the earth. Draw that belly in, shoulders back. Send your drishti to the sky. Two more of these. Exhale, fold forward. Hands can come through heart center or swan dive. Lift up halfway. From here, bring your shoulder blades together on your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees. Keep your spine straight. Rise and reach. Exhale, fold forward. Last one. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Set your feet wide. Find your ragdoll. Let your palms rest in the creases of your elbow. Bend your knees. Let your chest come down to your thighs, maybe between your thighs. Just drop everything. Drop your head so that your drishti now is going back between your legs. Still ground those feet in. And then as you do, you're going to notice that your knees want to straighten a little bit. So find the sensation there. Don't lock them out. Just straighten a little bit until you feel sensation in your hamstrings. And from here, begin to rock a little bit side to side, swaying. And so you're bringing your elbows past your knees as you go back and forth. Find as much space as you can here. And then come to stillness. Bring your fingertips to the floor and turn your toes out. So you're going to turn your toes out almost at a 45-degree angle and find Malasana, yogi squat. So you're going to sit down deep here. So what's going to happen if your hips are tight? You're going to tend to want to come up on your toes. That's fine. I'd rather you keep your ankles underneath your knees as much as possible. So as you sink down, working to keep your spine as vertical as you possibly can. It's going to want to go forward. So sink down nice and deep here. Hold for a couple of breaths. So if your hands feel good at your heart center, keep them there. If you want a little bit more support, opening in the chest, you can bring your hands to your knees. A couple of breaths. So we're going to begin to move up into a star in just a second. And as you do, I want you to transition your drishti from straight ahead up to the ceiling. So here we go. On your inhale, rise up, nice, slow, and smooth. Send your gaze up to the sky above you. And on your exhale, slow and steady, sink back down. 4 more of these. Big inhale, take advantage of the whole range of motion. All the intake of breath. And as you exhale, slow, smooth, and easy, drop it back down. Here we go. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper each time. Maybe you can open your heart a little bit more each time at the top. 2 more. Be mindful about where your eyes are going. Let them go up as you go up. And let them settle directly in front of you as you come down. Let's add 1 more in here. And sit down right here. About 3 breaths just to let the weight of your hips sink you down. Some opening on the inside of your thighs. 1 more breath. And exhale into your forward fold. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Step back into your high plank. Exhale for low plank. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Pressing the tops of your feet into the mat. Really engage that belly. Gaze, drishti goes straight ahead. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. So your gaze goes back between your knees. So lift your right leg and step that right foot up outside of your right hand. And then begin to walk your hands forward to the left corner of your mat. Spin your left foot down. So you're going to press the blade of the left foot into the mat. You're going to create some space here. Now we're getting into the hips early on, and that's by intention. I want you to feel some opening there, and I want you to feel some extension in your spine. So walk your hands a little farther forward. Drop your head. If you get wobbly here, press the blade of that back foot more firmly into the mat. 2 more breaths right here. And then walk your hands back in under your shoulders, and then windmill up, lead with your left hand, come up into that warrior 2. So your gaze goes over your right middle finger. Your knee tracks out towards your middle toe. Press into the blade of the back left foot. So on your inhale, come all the way up, bring your hands up to the top. Press together over your head, look into the side of your mat. Exhale, bring it back down, gaze over your right fingers 4 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Get really friendly with this movement. Nothing to hurry. Just connecting the movement with the breath. Come back down, settle into that warrior 2. Then reach back, peaceful warrior. Draw some opening into the right side body. Send your gaze to the sky. And then windmill. Bring both hands down to the floor. Step back into high plank. Low plank. Lower down just to your elbows or by your ribs. And then upward facing dog, or bring your hips to the floor for cobra. Tuck your toes, press back. Downward facing dog. Now take a minute here in this down dog, just a couple of breaths, to press into the mat with all of both palms. All 10 fingers. Send your tailbone to the sky. Drop your heart, gaze goes back between your knees. Press your heels down towards the floor. Maybe walk your dog a little bit here. And then lift that left leg, set it, left foot outside of your left hand. And then roll into the blade of your right foot. We're gonna find that down dog lunge here. So begin to walk your hands forward to the right top corner of your mat. So your hands are probably gonna go off your mat, and then settle your hips. Press that right foot into the mat. Let your shoulders drop. Maybe walk a little farther. This is a great place to bring awareness to your belly lock. And I'm not talking about walking it as hard as you can, just an awareness of drawing in right here. It's going to create space in your spine. It's going to create space in your hip. Two more breaths. And then begin to walk your hands back in under your shoulders. Find your stability there, and then come up into your warrior two. Gaze goes out here across your left middle finger. So as you set this up, your left heel is going to be directly in front of the arch of your right foot. You're going to stack your knee over your ankle here. Shoulders are going to be pointing to opposite ends of the mat, arms extended long. Sink a little deeper. And let's move through that breath. On your inhale, come all the way up. Exhale down. You know what to do. I'm going to be quiet for 4 more breaths. Let's add 1 more. And then settle into that warrior two. Turn your palms up to bring your shoulders away from your ears. Settle in a little bit more, and then keep your shoulders low. Turn your palms down. Keep the bend in that left knee. Reach back. Piece the warrior. Back. Sink into the left knee. Open up the left side. And then windmill down. High plank to low plank. Inhale for your upward facing dog. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let it go. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, press your heels down a little closer to the mat. 1 more time. Then walk your feet to the top of the mat. And then turn to face you. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up into Tadasana, and then lift your right knee. Find your stork pose. Lift it up nice and high. So your gaze can go to the ceiling here, or if you want a little bit more stability, it can go to the wall in front of you. Lift up a little higher, and then open that knee out to the side. Go into your belly. Go ahead, inhale, come back to center. Take your left hand, put it on the outside of your right knee, and then send that right arm back. Let your gaze, your drishti, go back towards those right fingers. Come back to your stork. Lift that knee up high, and then step it back into crescent lunge, aka high lunge here. So set this up. Ankle directly under the knee. Heel directly over the ball of the foot. Hips drop. If you're unstable here, drop your back knee. Okay. So you're sinking down nice and low here. Arms up and then out into a T. Draw into your belly, inhale. And on your exhale, twist to your left. Send your gaze back to those left fingers. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to that left, that closed twist again. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the twist. Inhale, come back to center. Lift your arms. Then bring your hands down to the center of your heart and hinge at your hips and find this crescent twist. So bring that right elbow outside the left thigh. Sink into the hips. Drop your knee if you're feeling squirrely here. And then press that top hand into the bottom. Breathe length in as you inhale. Twist as you exhale. 1 more time. On your inhale, come all the way back up. Crescent lunge. Open out into that warrior two. Reach back, peaceful warrior. And find your extended side angle. Bring that left arm down to your left thigh. Send that right arm past your ear so that the bicep is right at or behind your ear so that you're opening your heart up. Okay? Good. I'm going to turn and do it on the other side. So that shoulder comes back. Beautiful. One more breath here. And come back into peaceful warrior. And then windmill it all the way down. High plank to low plank. Inhale for up dog. Exhale back. Down dog. Look up your hands. Make your way there. Step or float. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way back up into Tadasana. Bring your arms by your side. Hit reset here. Find that strong, equal standing pose that we began with. And from here, from that foundation, come into your stork pose. Lift that left knee. Lift your right toes, spread them wide, set them back down. Press that foot into the earth, lift a little higher, and then open that knee out to the left side. Hold for a couple breaths. Continue to push the knee back behind you. Come into center. Take your right hand to the outside of that left knee. Send your left hand back and twist. So you're nice and tall here. You're looking back over your left fingers. Inhale, come back to the crescent. Exhale, step back, to stork. Exhale, step back into your crescent lunge. Nice and tall here. So you're pressing into the earth and you're getting energy back. So it's engaging the bottom part of your body, your legs, your glutes, all that's turned on. Belly's locked, grow up from there. Open your arms out into a T. If this is too much, you can always do cactus arms. Or if it's way too much, you can bring your hands to your hips. And then twist to your right. Looking back towards the right thumb. Inhale back to center. Exhale, find your twist. Maybe you sink a little lower each time you twist. Back to center. Open out. And then come back up. Crescent arms to the sky. Hands to your heart. Hinge and twist. Left elbow, bring it outside of that right thigh. Let your breath do the work here. So you're on the ball of that back foot. So I'm going to look at where my foot is. Yeah, just like that. Good. Inhale, come back up to your crescent lunge. Keep your hips low here as you open into two, warrior two. Reach back, peaceful warrior. And then find your extended side angle. So same version as on the other side, or if you would like your fingertips to go to the floor here, you can. I'm going to choose to keep my forearm here and my left bicep coming by my left ear. Roll the shoulder back, look up, or if that's too much on your neck, you can look straight down at your right heel. Hold for another breath. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And then on your exhale, high plank through low plank. Yeah, high plank through low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back child's pose. Yeah. Let your hips settle towards the floor. Let your breath come back to that smooth, even inhale and exhale. Know that you can come here anytime you need a break, anytime you need some rest. See if you can allow your hips to go back a little bit farther while you're here. Let your shoulder blades come together on your back. Let your heart open. Feel your collarbones separate there. And then tuck your toes. Press out, downward facing dog. See the top of the mat. Step or float your way to the top of the mat. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find chair pose. First chair pose of the practice. We're going to do a series of chair twists. We're not going to be here long. Bring your hands to your heart. Twist to your right. Hook your left elbow outside that right thigh. Breathe length into your spine. Twist from your belly. 2 more times. Inhale, come back up to your crescent. Or to your chair pose. Sink your hips a little lower, slide them back. And then from here, lower down some more. Bring your hands to the center of your heart. Go the other way. Right elbow outside your left thigh. Make your breath work for you. You look good, Kendall. You look good, Ann. I'm sure everybody else looks good, but I can't see you. Jamie and Evan look good. Inhale, come back up to chair. Exhale, fold forward. Step your feet hips distance apart. Hook your big toes with your first 2 fingers, peace sign fingers, thumbs point forward. Lift halfway, and then fold. Press your heels down towards the floor. Drop your head. Pull up on your toes. Your elbows are going to bend a little out to the side. So you've put a lot of heat into your legs. So take advantage of that here as you strengthen and stretch your hamstrings. Release this, find your crow or Malasana where we were. So Malasana is here. If you're new to crow, this is the way crow works. Bring your feet to touch or close to touch. To touch is best in my experience. Bend your knees out to the sides. Sink your hips low. So we've been here before. Bring your hands in close to your feet, about shoulder distance apart. Lower your shoulders and then just shift forward. Your shins are going to stack on your triceps. Look forward, and then maybe your feet come off the floor. About 5 breaths here. Keep drawing into the center. And then release it. Good work. Find your forward fold. Let everything just hang right there. Maybe you give your thighs a big hug, drop your head. Maybe you sway a little bit side to side. Maybe you get a little drink of whatever you got by your mat. And then on your inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way back up to that equal standing. Nice work. Good. Just a couple more balance poses here before we work down to the floor. So standing tall. Send your arms up, bring that knee up again for stork pose. And then on your exhale, hinge at your hips, reach your arms forward, press your right foot back, toes turned down into warrior 3. It's a great place to lean on something here with your fingers. And then exhale, come into standing splits. Bring those fingertips down to the floor, lift that right leg to the sky, bring your nose to your knee, and exhale, fold forward. Let all that go, find some movement side to side. Come all the way back up to your equal standing pose. This is our reset point. Extend your arms, lift your other knee, your left knee this time. Tight up into your chest, open, press down more, lift up more, and then keep that knee drawn in as you transition, and then extend it back, warrior 3. Toes turned down, right foot presses into the earth, extend those fingers, press the sole of your left foot back, and then from that point of strength, hinge at your hip creases, bring your fingers to the floor, bring your nose to your knee, lift that lifted leg a little higher. Maybe you find supreme balance here, one or both hands to your ankles. And on your exhale, fold forward. And some movement here. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and reach all the way up. And turn sideways to you. Fold forward. Lift up halfway. Exhale, step or float back. High plank to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg and step that right foot up beside your right hand. Okay? So earlier, we spun that left foot down. We're going to keep on the ball of that left foot down as we settle that hip. Just let gravity drop the hip towards the floor. Find some softness in your shoulders. Strengthen that bond in your belly. And then from here, drop that back knee. And then slide it back just a little bit so that you feel that opening in this whole inner thigh groin area. And then maybe you stay right here, or maybe you can work your forearms down to a block or down to the mat. And wherever you are, try to find a sense of ease here. The only thing you're holding on to is your belly. Your shoulders soften, your heart softens. At the top of that back foot, just rest gently on the mat. We're going to be here about 5 breaths. And then you can begin to make your way back up on your hands and bring that right foot across the mat and drop the right knee. So you're going to come into pigeon here where your hips are already low. So your hips are going to be squared to the front of the mat. And before we fold forward, just tuck that back toe, send your heel back, and just hinge at your hips, lower down. So if you're really tight here, you can work this on your back. If you are, you know that. And if you're not, or if the other thing you can do is slide a block under that right hip. So wherever you are, walk your hands forward and find your edge. And by edge, I don't mean where it hurts. I mean where you feel sensation and where you feel like you're getting some stretch, something's actually happening. And just breathe into that. If you need to come back out and take a couple breaths, that's fine. Just find some ease here. And the breath is the tool. If you find yourself struggling, if you find your mind wandering, if you find yourself muttering to yourself about this pose, whatever, if you find yourself saying, I love this, none of that is anything. None of that makes any difference. Just come back to your breath and be with each inhale and each exhale. And see what happens. Just notice what you can let go of. And then work your hands back in towards your legs. Push yourself up. I'm going to turn to face you now. So roll out and bring that left leg around so you're in seated tree pose. So this right foot is going to come into your left thigh here. You're going to sit up nice and tall. Turn your heart so that your sternum is facing the middle toes right there. Reach up nice and tall, and then on your exhale, fold forward. I'm going to stay here about 3 breaths. And then we're going to make a little flow out of this so you can just watch me for the first one. We're going to do it about 5 times. So on your inhale, come up, plant that right palm behind your tailbone, reach your left hand up, press your knee in, your foot in, extend long. And on your exhale, drop your hips back down nice and slow and fold all the way down. Okay, 5 more times. Plant your right hand. Make this slow and smooth with breath. Inhale all the way to extension. And then slow exhale all the way back down to fold. If you need to bend this knee, bend it. 4 more. Turn up the volume of your breath. Notice every movement of every cell as you slide through transitions between these poses. The transition is the pose. Always, but particularly in a flow like this, every little bit of it counts. It doesn't mean it has to be perfect. It just means that it's important to be aware of it. And then come all the way back down into that fold. Back up to center. Bring your feet into a diamond. Baddha Konasana, lift your heart up, and then begin to shift your hips forward. You're going to be here about 5 breaths. You can bring your fingers, interlace them outside your toes, or you can grab your ankles, and then just hinge forward. Maybe your head comes down to the arches of your feet. Maybe your head's nowhere near that. Wherever you are, just keep your sitting bones grounded. And inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, fall a little deeper. Last breath. Come all the way out. However you need to get there, come to high plank, low plank, up dog, belly in, shoulders back, eyes straight ahead, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg, bring the left foot outside the left hand. Press back through that heel and allow your hips to begin to settle. So the temptation here is to hurry into this since you know what we did on the other side, but I encourage you to just be present as we experience the opening here. Checking in that your knee is on top of your ankle. If that knee wants to roll out to the side, that's fine. You can do that. It'll create a little space there, but it shouldn't be in front of or behind the ankle. So then go ahead, set your knee down. Maybe you scoot it back just a little bit. And then either stay right here, because this may be enough, or bring your forearms down to a block, to the mat, and send your breath into that inner thigh, into that hip flexor, into your shoulders. So your drishti now is going to go down right between your hands, or maybe right between your forearms onto the mat. Find a little spot on your mat and just focus on it, a nice soft focus. Two more breaths here. And then walk your hands back under your shoulders and begin to scoot that left foot over and bring the left knee down. So you're finding that pigeon pose on this side. I'm tighter on this side so you can see my hips up a little bit more. So square your hips, tuck your toes, press that knee, that heel back, and then settle the knee down. So take a moment here to let gravity settle you. And then begin to walk your hands forward. If that hip is up, slide something under it. So make your way to your forearms. For some of you, you'll go ahead and extend those arms out, that's fine. The forearms are a great halfway point. And then a couple of breaths here. Because what we tend to do, our default, our reaction, is to fight in the hip, is to engage and wait for this to be over. So just override that with your intention of softening that hip, of breathing into it. And letting gravity do your work for you here. And then maybe you can extend your arms out. And your forehead comes down to the floor. Rest your forehead on something, even if it's the backs of your hands, doesn't matter. Three more breaths. See what gravity and softening can do for you. And then begin to walk your hands back in. Roll over into that left hip. Swing the right leg around so you're coming into that seated tree. Shirsasana on this side. So Connect left foot to right thigh. Turn your heart so you're facing the middle of those toes on your right foot. Reach high, and then exhale, fold. So maybe you grab your foot, maybe you grab your ankle, your calf, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that knee is bent slightly. 5 breaths here. This is a still pose, but you can make it active by increasing the length of your spine as you breathe in, and the opportunity to fold maybe as you breathe out. 2 more breaths. So we're just going to go straight into that flow. We're going to do 6 of these. So on your inhale, bring that left hand up, plant it behind your spine, press into the floor with your knees, stretch. And on your exhale, bring it all the way back down. Here we go. Smooth and controlled all the way through. The range of motion is less important than the awareness of and the connection to breath as you move through. And just a noticing, a noticing of what's going on in your body as you make these subtle movements and build them into larger movements. Some of the things you might not have been aware of, particularly in some of our octane stuff where we're moving really quickly. I don't know how many this is, but we're going to do 1 more. This is an opportunity to just notice. And exhale back into that fold, whatever it looks like. And come up to seated. Find that diamond pose again. Bring the soles of your feet together. If you got blocks or something and you feel like you need some support, you can put them right here. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, fold forward. And notice what you've created here. Maybe your hips are a little bit more open, maybe not. But bring that awareness of your belly. Your grounding, and the grounding now is the blades of your feet and your sitting bones. And your drishti. So your drishti right now can be right where the sole of one foot connects to the other. And then come up to seated, roll onto your back. Find your inversion. So you have a lot of options. One I would start with is happy baby. We're going to be here about 10, 12 breaths in the inversion. So bring your hands out to the blades of your feet, outside edges of your feet, and then pull down. And as you do, flatten your tailbone and press your shoulders down into the mat. It's going to create an opening across your chest as well as some opening in your hamstrings. Now you can stay here for your inversion, or you can come to waterfall, which is just your legs extended straight up. You can extend your arms up for dead bug. Your shoulders are grounded to the floor. If shoulders stand is what you want, take it. If you've got another one, an arm balance or handstand against the wall, use whatever you got. We'll be here about 5 more breaths. Just choose it wisely. If you're in waterfall or dead bug, keep pressing those heels towards the floor. Keep grounding the shoulders and the sacrum into the ground. If you're in shoulder stand, come to plow. And from plow, find death dance. And everybody roll all the way out. Put your knees into your heart. Give your legs a big squeeze. And then as you release, just extend that left leg, pull the right leg in, and then draw it across your body so that right knee goes to the left side. Guide it down with your left hand. Extend your right arm off to the right side of your mat. Let your drishti go out past those fingers. Now again, nothing to force here, but just an intention of pressing that right shoulder down and creating space across your right side body, across the outside of your right thigh. Come back to center. Squeeze both legs in, both knees in, and then release the right leg out nice and long. Maybe you shift your hips a bit to the left side, and then draw that left knee across your body with your right hand. Just reversing the action you took on the other side. Extend that left arm out. Let that knee drop. Let your gaze, your drishti go out past your left fingers. Last breath. On your inhale, come back to center. Pull both knees up into your heart. Give them a nice squeeze. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, just let everything come down to the mat. Extend your legs out. Put your heels at the corners of your mat. Let them fall open. You put your arms where they feel like they want to go. For me, I choose a star pose arms. For a lot of people, it feels more comfortable to have your arms down by your sides. Take what you want. Take another breath in together. And on your exhale, release your belly. Take a breath in together. Let it out with a sigh. Ah. Last breath in. Let it go with a shh. Just take your rest here. Let everything melt into the earth. Let go of your belly, let go of your muscles. Let go of your bandha, your drishti. Let it all go. And take your shavasana. Begin to move your fingers. Pay attention as that movement works its way into your hands. Notice what that feels like. And then begin to move your arms with awareness of those sensations. And then your toes, move your feet. Work those movements up your legs. And then take about 3 or 4 breaths to find your way to a seated pose. You might want to roll for a breath or two onto your side. And then push your way up. Find yourself landing in a comfortable seat at the top of your mat. Legs crossed nice and easy. Bring your hands to your knees with your palms down. Just tighten that bandha a little bit, just to bring length in your spine. Relax your shoulders down your back. Scan your body. Notice what you're feeling right here. So we're in a time where we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know why a lot of things that are happening. And so the tools of your breath and your bandha and your drishti are very strong. Breath can keep you present. Bandha can keep you aware and engaged. Your drishti can keep you connected to what's true, what your true north is, and what's most important. Thank y'all for being here today. Hope this feels good for you. And so we're going to finish by saying namaste, and what that means is that the light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. And so bring your hands together and open your eyes. Lift your thumb knuckles up to the center of your forehead, and we bow and say namaste.